Hello everyone, it's Jessica and I'm back with another scrapbook process video for you for the Paper Issues design team, and today I am kicking off day one of the 31 days of sketches for Paper Issues, and here is the sketch, and I'm just going to start this off following the sketch fairly closely. It's kind of set up like stars in a tree kind of design, so instead of using two photos, using one small one and one larger one, I am just breaking this up into three photos, and then I am going to do some stamping at the bottom with some LA Studio stamps. This one is from a Merry Moment stamp set. And I'm just kind of doing some stamping around the bottom edge there just to give it that kind of wavy effect like the sketch had. But on the sketch it was actually looked like paper layers on there, maybe with some torn edges. But I've been doing that a lot lately, so I decided to just mix it up and do some stamping instead for that design. I'm going to pull up my Big Shot here and use some of these little dies from Echo Park. So these are just the designer dies in the nesting stars. They have like a little stitched line around them. They're one of my absolute favorite sets. So I am just cutting out two different shapes. I think I'm actually going to add a third just to add some little tiny ones in here. There's my little toddler's hand. You're going to see my little munchkins pop into this video quite a bit. Sometimes they're in my videos, sometimes they're not. Tonight they are hanging out with me in the playroom / scrap room, so they're going to be popping in quite a bit here. So I cut some of this out so you didn't have to watch me cutting out all of these stars and all the patterns, but basically I just pulled out a few of the pattern papers from the smaller pad from Vicky Boutin's Warm Wishes collection, and there was my little curly haired toddler. He's 3, and as you can see, his curls are blonde as blonde can be. But I've just pulled out some of those papers from the smaller paper pad and just cutting out various shapes in these little stars, and then I go in and actually cut out some of these nested ones. So what I do is I just put 2 of those dies, and then I get like an outline and then a smaller star as well. And he really thinks that that little Christmas tree that I had left over from my last layout needs to go on here, so he keeps trying to throw that at me as well. So basically I'm sticking pretty close to this sketch. I'm going to line up my bigger stars here just like it is on the sketch. I originally was going to just tape them all down, but then I thought if I popped this top one out, it would look like it was actually the topper on the top of a Christmas tree. So I used some little 3D foam squares for the back of that one just to pop that one up. And then the rest of them, I just use my ATG gun on those just to adhere those down. So as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking it looks pretty flat, and I'm thinking that it needs a lot more layers. So here's where I add a lot more things on top of these stars. So if you know me, I don't do white layouts a whole lot. I tend to do darker layouts a lot or pattern paper backgrounds. So for me to do a white layout on the background, it kind of takes a lot for me to not add a bunch of stuff to it and leave it simple. So what I do here with my photos is I matted them once in just some smooth white cardstock like the background is, and then I matted them again with some of the pattern papers from Vicky Boutin's Warm Wishes just to go and match with those stars. And then I'm just going to distress the edges with my Close to My Heart distresser. They also have a Tim Holtz distresser, I believe, in the store, and you can get different ones. There's different brands, or you can use the back of your scissors to do this as well. So I just back those with a few different patterns to match, and I'm just kind of putting them in the same spot as the sketch shows. And then I'm going to pull out this title, and I like to cut these out and just kind of stick them down. Well, not really stick them down, but just kind of place them where I want them to go. That way, if I decide to move them around later, then I can. So that's why you saw me cutting those out. And here are these little fun, they're called magical acetate circles. Those are from LA Studio also. And I really love them, and I wanted to put them on this layout, and originally was going to put them all over my little tree, star tree design on top, but I found that they weren't really showing up as much as I wanted them to. So I thought about backing them with some black, just some black circles behind them to make them pop, but then I thought it's gonna cover up all my stars. So I decided to opt out of doing that, and I just settle on putting just the one that says A Merry Moment kind of over top of my Christmas tree picture, just so that it's there, it's kind of peeking out, and then I'm going to cover it up a little bit by embellishing around it a little bit too. So now I'm just going through and sticking down all of these little stars, making sure that they are in place before I add anything else. I'm just going to kind of go through and just add a bunch of crap on top of this. I usually describe my style as scrap vomit. I know it sounds a little crazy, but sometimes whenever I scrap, I literally feel like it just looks like I took a bunch of stuff and just kind of like barfed on the page with it. I know it's crazy, but that's really how I describe my style of scrapbooking, because it's just cluster scrapbooking and I always add a lot of crap on top of my pages. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to kind of finish embellishing. I'm going to make a little tab here out of the Ellie's daily tab stamps, and I'm just going to stamp that a couple times. I use the same phrase both times, but it's just going to kind of peek out there on top of that little Merry Moment circle. So I'm just going to place it right there. And then I'm going to put this 25 on top, because this was from Christmas morning of this year. So I thought that was appropriate to put the date on top. And then I'm just going to use a couple of these circles from the collection as well, from Ellie's Studio. And I'm going to throw on some of the gold stars and some of the words. So that's pretty much going to finish this up, and I will just pop some music in here so you guys can watch me finish this up, and then I will pop in a little bit later to explain a couple other things that I do. So here I am just adding some splatters in some Nuvo Sparkle Spray, and I'm using Morning Fog color, and also the reddish colored one is called Tender Peach. So what I've done is I've just masked off the area that I don't want to splatter, and then just kind of splattered right around the outside of the tree and along the bottom. So I absolutely love how this layout came together. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope that you can play along with our 31 days of sketches in our Paper Issues Friends and Fans Facebook group to win prizes. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a good day. And also, if you need any supplies, feel free to use my code in the paperissues.com store for 20% off. Plus, you get free shipping over $75. Thank you so much. Bye.